97 WABC.
Anderson Cooper the other night. This guy he's not an opinion guy. Good evening. The President of the United States is tired of so many black people coming to this country. He would like to bring in more people from Norway, white people, in other words. Now, this is not an opinion guy. This is a straight news journalist. Right. By straight, I mean objective. And that's what he said. This is a straight guy. This is just last week.
Concentrate on your accomplishments. Try to get the Congress to stay in your zone, because if you don't, it's going to be big trouble.
How do you do that? Every single day you wake up.
Self-control. I know you don't know much about that, Sid.
I was going to say, you're talking the wrong guy.
Sid's giving me this blank look.
What is that?
What was that? What?
You know, I miss this guy. It's gone now a little over a year, the great David Bowie. Welcome back, David Bowie, China Girl. We start out with number 3, the final hour of today's Bernie and Sid show. It's been fun. I missed yesterday. Couldn't wait to be back with Bernie today. And Tommy Davidson was great. But as Vanessa Williams once said many, many years ago, save the best for last. And we are joined now by a guy we both love. And he's been very nice to us. We've been on his show many, many times. He's been here many times, but the first time live in studio to see these palatial surroundings is our dear friend, the great, and I mean the great, word is overused, not in his case, Bill O'Reilly.
Big Bill O'Reilly.
Hey.
Needs no introduction. Come on.
Hey. You know, I knew you guys are big time, but I wasn't clear on why you were big time until I walked into the WABC studios today and looked at Sid's shirt. Sid has embroidered on his shirt, Sid.
Yeah. Oh, his name. Yes.
Yeah, Sid. And I assume that's because Sid forgets his name from time to time and then can look down on his shirt and go, oh, that's right, I'm Sid.
Yeah, he needs to be reminded.
Yeah.
That's a Skip Gambert thing. You're familiar with it.
Skip Gambert is my shirt maker.
Yes.
But I do not have Bill on my shirt. No, I know.
This is a high bar.
I know who I am.
Right.
I know who I am. I don't need Bill on my shorts or my shirt. Yeah.
Were you listening to us when you were driving in just now?
Yes, I was.
So did you hear the whole story about? Because I'm a huge fan of yours. I am, and love you. So the first time you invited us on together to your show, we walked a couple of blocks to the Newsmax studios,
right,
and met you for the first time. Did you hear the story leading up to that?
No.
Okay. Sid is filled with angst. Let me just tell you that, Big Bill, Mr. O'Reilly. He's filled with angst and anxiety. He's nervous. Despite all the big muscles and the bluster and the screaming and all that, he's the most nervous, nerve-wracked guy you're ever going to meet.
I am. Bite my nails. I'm very neurotic. So we're walking over there, and Bernie's telling me what to expect. And I'm like, oh, my God, this is Bill O'Reilly. It's a big deal. And he's like, listen, don't look at him. He's going to call you by Rosenberg, not Sid.
I didn't say don't
shake his hand.
That's a lie.
Don't even look at. So by the time I got to the studio,
he's making that up.
And then it took 2 seconds for O'Reilly to go, hey, Sid, nice. He's the nicest guy I ever met my whole life. But this guy had me terrified.
So McGurk is trying to make me have to be Mariah Carey?
Basically, yes.
I can't look at you?
He's actually lying. He is, as he put it, neurotic himself, and he's revising the story. He's walking over there, biting his nails. So what do you think he's going to talk about?
You know, I've changed my tone a little bit. We're on BillO'Reilly.com every night. We do a half an hour of analysis, which is really interesting because I don't have any commercials. I don't have to, do this corporate nonsense. I run BillO'Reilly.com. In fact, I think I'm going to have BillO'Reilly.com put on my shirt. All right? So I remind me of what my website is. But we have guests in like you guys, and we can be a lot looser in the format because we don't have to hit the break. Yeah. We don't have to, you don't have 17 guys jumping up and down going, do you have to have McGurk on again? I had to explain McGurk to the 20th Century Fox people. I go, look, you don't understand them. He's a Long Island guy. He's out there in Long Beach.
He represents the people.
Yeah, right. He doesn't shave. He's what's the matter with him?
Right. No, it's a more relaxed setting on BillO'Reilly.com. You can even drop the F-bomb every
I don't do that.
Of course
but look, our audience is looking for analysis that they don't get on cable television or on talk radio, to be frank. because it's a very complicated time we're living in.
Yes, it is.
All right? and there's strategies in play, media strategies. So MSNBC and CNN, for example, they know they make a lot of money doing one thing and one thing only, hating Trump.
Right.
All right? Okay,
They're focused.
We can make a lot of money hating Donald Trump. So that's what we're going to do. All right? On the other side, Fox goes, you know what? We're the only television news network that gives a guy a shot.
Right.
All right? And or even supports him in the case of some of the broadcasters there. We can make a lot of money doing that. Because if you like Trump, you've got nowhere else to go but Fox News, right?
Right. Exactly.
So it's a money play. But for me, I can just get on and basically say, look, this is how we see it at BillO'Reilly.com, and here's why. Why? Here are the facts, and we'll lay it out. That is a tremendous pull, and that's why we're doing very, very well.
You are doing very well. Yeah, and I'll tell you this, not to keep sucking up, but I think your talking points, where you started your TV show and the way you start your show on BillO'Reilly.com, is the best couple of minutes of talk a day. You break down the biggest story like nobody else does. So someone once asked me, how long do you think it takes Bill O'Reilly to write his talking points for the day? So I know it sounds like a silly question.
No.
But how long does it take?
It just depends. Like today, my talking points are going to be on President Obama. Because yesterday it blew up, as you saw, that these lovebird FBI people were texting back and forth. And the woman, Lisa Page, texts to Peter Strzok, POTUS, that's President of the United States, wants to know everything about us, this investigation. Now, she doesn't really clarify what investigation. It could be Hillary Clinton email. It could be Trump-Russia collusion. It could be something else, all right? And everybody jumps up and down. The right-wingers who hate Trump, I told you Obama was behind this, man behind the curtain, and the left-wingers go, no. He never do anything like that. He never do that. Okay, so what I'm going to tell you today on BillO'Reilly.com in my talking points is, we don't know. You don't know what that refers to, okay? But Barack Obama did know a few things. He knew that his Attorney General, Loretta Lynch, met with Bill Clinton on a plane for 30 minutes, all right, in the middle of the Hillary Clinton email FBI investigation.
Do you think he knew in advance that it was going to happen?
I don't know, and it's impossible.
That's $1 million question.
Right. But he certainly knew afterward what Lynch and Clinton talked about. He never, ever said a word about it, Barack Obama.
Right.
That's not right. That's not right.
No.
Okay?
And you can't, it's not a stretch to assume. I mean, why would Loretta Lynch take it upon herself? I would imagine she was instructed by people that it was orchestrated. Go out there and talk to him, and let's try to tilt
but you're speculating.
I know I am.
I mean, you can do that on the radio.
Exactly
I can't.
Right.
Okay, you speculate.
But I mean,
but here's the thing. When I interviewed Obama in his Super Bowl interview, and I said, look, the IRS is targeting right-wing groups and making it very difficult for them to get tax-exempt status, and in some cases going in and auditing their books to a degree that's unheard of. I mean, that's not right. And then Obama said to me, and you'll remember this, there's not a smidgen, that's the word he used, of evidence that the IRS did that.
Right.
And I'm going, yes, there is. Now, I'm sitting in the White House, I'm sitting with the president. You can't go, hey, you pinhead.
Right.
Like I could with you two.
Right.
I can't do that with him.
No.
But my job is to draw this out. But what I'm seeing here, and I am almost 100% convinced, is that there was some stuff going on behind the scenes in the Hillary Clinton email situation. Some heavy-duty stuff.
You would have to think. And you are calling it now, I like it, Election Gate.
Election Gate.
So obviously, which indicates wrongdoing. And one of the things, you say some high-level people, high-level maybe FBI people, one of the things that came out in the past couple of days was the fact that the classified Hillary emails on Anthony Weiner's laptop, they knew about that a month before.
30 days.
Before Comey rushed out.
McCabe did, right?
Right. No. Now, if you go to BillO'Reilly.com, I'm sorry I have to plug this thing, but we want to get some awareness. We have hundreds of thousands. We want millions. We had an interview last night with a former U.S. attorney. a guy who really knows the FISA warrant thing, because this is so confusing to people. You can imagine living out in Lake Ronkonkoma, and you're on the Long Island Railroad for an hour and a half each way, and your kids are screaming when you get home, and you got to distill all of this.
It really is
crap.
overwhelming.
It is, and people just either turn it off or they don't know. But essentially, there are 4 people that could be indicted criminally in this case. James Comey, the former FBI chief, the deputy director to Comey, Andrew McCabe, this Peter Strzok, and his girlfriend, the paramour, Lisa Page. All worked for the FBI, all worked on both investigations, Hillary Clinton email and Russia collusion. All 4 of them could wind up in handcuffs.
They could.
All right? And it's not speculation. It's not. There's enough evidence to launch an investigation. But last night what we did was, well, who's going to investigate? You have the FBI investigating the FBI. Rod Rosenstein, the Deputy Attorney General, is tied in with all of these guys.
Right.
All right? Jeff Sessions, I call him Rip Van Sessions.
Yeah.
The guy naps. He naps like,
he's
like,
missing in action.
Right, where are you?
Yeah.
All right, he recused himself, so he's out. Rosenstein is way too close. He's got to recuse. That means a third guy in the Justice Department's got to call for a special prosecutor. I hate that.
Right.
But who else is going to investigate?
Well, that's an excellent question. Should the president fire Rod Rosenstein to get another guy in there, a deputy attorney general who can do the job?
You don't have to fire him. He just has to recuse. How Rosenstein could order an investigation or a special counsel to look at the FBI when he's tied in with the FBI so tightly. I think Rosenstein...
He may be culpable in the whole dossier thing, that submitting a false application to a FISA court.
Could be, absolutely.
He could be culpable. So,
well, we know Comey and McCabe are.
Right.
For sure.
Yeah. So
all right? So Rosenstein,
part of it.
He could be because he was involved in it. But one more thing. This is on Trump. See, Trump, instead of tweeting about crazy, insane stuff like Joe and Mika, look, real care? No one on the earth cares about Joe and Mika. No human being cares. If they vanish tomorrow, no one will look. All right? So don't tweet if you're the President of the United States about Joe and Mika.
By the way, Strzok and Lisa Page are the Joe and Mika of the FBI.
Yeah. Okay.
They are.
But President Trump should be tweeting or actually holding a press conference saying, look, we got to get to the bottom of this.
Yeah.
This is the highest investigative agency in our country is now under this cloud, and it's not going to go away. All right? No. So now I, as the president, am asking the Justice Department to set up another special counsel to investigate the FBI. Is that hard?
No, not hard. It's pretty straightforward.
But you mentioned the 4 people that may face indictments.
And more could be. But those 4 are in the zone.
Throw in Loretta Lynch.
Maybe her too, but I want to attach one more.
Yeah.
You said what Barack Obama did was not right. Could it also turn out to be not legal?
That's not going to happen.
Never going to happen.
He's way too smart. He'll have 15 people in between. When I said it wasn't right, the President of the United States has an obligation to level with the American people. All right? Does everybody hear that listening in WABC? President of the United States has a duty to level with you. Barack Obama knew what Loretta Lynch talked about with Bill Clinton. He knew. Had to know.
Yeah.
All right? Why didn't he tell us?
Excellent question. And as far as her instructing Comey to call it a matter and not a criminal investigation, I mean, what is that?
That's another smoking gun. There's like 50 smoking guns here.
The exoneration letter 2 or 3 months before the exoneration, before they interviewed anybody, and the fact that they interviewed aides to Hillary Clinton, that those aides lied to FBI agents and were not charged. I mean, all of it
Aberdeen,
very
Cheryl
suspect.
Mills, all of them, right? So the question becomes, as you and Bernard map out here, there is so much evidence, okay? It's not even circumstantial at this point. Yet the left goes on television every single day, those stations you mentioned, and they go, this guy's really a creep. This guy's got a problem with our best institution, the men and women that keep us safe every single day. And all this guy can find to do in a day is to go out and kill the FBI. That's what they're saying.
All of a sudden, the defenders of law enforcement.
Right, well, that's what they're saying.
But see, that hollow hypocrisy is now damaging not only the television networks that participate in it, but the Democratic Party. If you look at the recent polling, Trump's approval has come up after the State of the Union, all right? It's the low 40s now. But people are starting to say, you know what? There's two sides to the story. Before, there wasn't. Trump's an idiot.
Right.
All right? Trump's corrupt. Trump's this. Weren't two sides of the story because the pile-on was so huge. You got Saturday Night Live, you got all the newspapers, you got these two cable networks, you got all the network news. 90% of the network news coverage at night is anti-Trump. 90%. But now...
And the late-night comedy shows, all part of the mob.
Starting to break down. It's starting to break down because people are going, you know what?
How do you know that, though? You say it's starting to break down.
Polling. All right, so there was a huge gap in who you're going to vote for in November in the congressional race, Democrat or Republican. I think the gap was like 15%. That's narrowed down to 7%.
Oh, that's a big deal.
That's cut in half now.
Right.
And then Trump's approval rating rising. So you follow that and you look at that, and the independents, 35% of the American electorate now is independent. 35%. That's where the elections are won and lost. You're never going to convince Rachel Maddow of anything. Right? Her existence, financially and every other way, is tied into promoting the liberal point of view. That's it. Okay? There's no bend, there's no give. And the same thing on the right. You have right-wing commentators, and their whole lives are centered around that. But that 35% of Americans, the people sitting out there in Franklin Lakes, New Jersey, and in Poughkeepsie, New York, who aren't crazed ideologues, they're following it, but it's hard for them to follow it. And that's my job.
To explain it, or they can be like me. I was a guy that fought with him tooth and nail all year during the campaign, Bill, and I voted for Hillary. Believe it or not, I would never do that again, and I'm ashamed of myself. But I'm actually a guy that went from calling Trump a clown and a buffoon throughout the whole campaign, which I thought that's how he won, to where now I actually say, I think he's doing a good job. You think other people, those independents at least, are capable of doing that?
I do. I had dinner at Mar-a-Lago 2 weeks ago, all right?
Nice. Oh, really?
Yeah, I didn't pay. But I was invited.
Sweet.
And I was there, and it's a really nice place.
With the president?
Tommy. No, he was over in Switzerland, yodeling. So I'm sitting there with some of his really close pals, Trump's close pals. And I do this to gather information. All right? Sure. I mean, it's an off-the-record dinner, and I'm not quoting anybody, but you want to know what the flow is, all right? What these people who know Donald Trump very well are saying and thinking. What I picked up was that they're all happy because they're all rich guys. You don't let poor guys into Mar-a-Lago. You got to bring your tax return.
Oh, yeah.
Just to show it to the valet guy. You say, okay, here's my net right there, and then he'll park your car. I mean, that's pretty tough, to bring the tax return to the valet guy.
Yeah.
Hey, Francisco, come here. Look, you see this? This is the bottom line. Oh, I take that Mercedes. All right, so anyway, they're all rich guys, so they love the corporate tax cuts, and they like the economy and all of that. They love that. But on the other stuff, the tweeting and the chaos, and that's, and I said, look, if you talk to the president, you tell him to listen to some of FDR's fireside chats. All right? Because what he has to do is reestablish a link with the American people. And how you do that is every week you get on the radio, and Barack Obama did this, all right? You get on the radio for 10 minutes, all right? Bernie and Sid will moderate, all right? And you just say, this is what I did this week, all right? And you start to do that. If Trump would do that, he would be way ahead.
Which is why maybe, for example, the State of the Union, you talk about polls. After the State of the Union, the polls were overwhelmingly in favor of what he said, what he did. They approved of his performance at the State of the Union. They liked what he said.
Yeah, it was a good speech. It was too long.
Yes.
Yeah. But in other words, he talked to the American people, and the American people said, hey, you know what? He's making sense. And in addition to that, the Harvard-Harris poll on immigration, they agree with him overwhelmingly on the 4 pillars of immigration that the Democrats are vehemently against: the wall, chain migration, the lottery visa system, et cetera, and, of course, granting amnesty or citizenship to the Dreamers. So, yeah, the polls he's more in lockstep with the people now. And I think, to your point, they're starting to see through the media, starting to see through the hate.
Right.
And he's starting to resonate. And it partially is because of his tweets as well, I would say.
Now, I want to talk in the second half of this hour about New York City and immigration.
Okay.
All right? Because we all live it.
Right.
We're all living here. I was born in Columbia Presbyterian Hospital up on the Harlem border and raised out on Long Island in Levittown. And we've all seen a tremendous change here in the city all right, because of the mass immigration, all right? And I want to tell you some things that people may not know about all this.
See, that's the kind of pro-Bill O'Reilly. What a tease that was. That was the best. And you know what? While we're talking, he's actually looking at the clock.
Right.
He's more aware of the clock than we are.
Right. Back on Bernie and Sid. Noam's going to do the news in like 2 minutes. So let's save the immigration stuff, Bill, for after Noam does the news.
Go ahead.
Save that. But then I have one question to ask you. Of all the folks out there on the left that, as you talked about, Rachel Maddow, make their living and, quite frankly, enjoying killing President Trump every single day, who do you think, of all of them, is the worst? Who goes above and beyond everybody else?
What's the guy's name after Maddow?
Chris Hayes.
No, he's before.
Lawrence O'Donnell?
The worst.
The worst.
Really?
Absolute bottom of the barrel.
Went after General Kelly. In fact, weeks ago.
It's not his political views that I object to. It's just that he's a smear merchant, a gutter snipe,
Wow.
nasty individual. He's the worst.
You know him. You don't know him personally, do you? There's never been any.
I know him, but
Okay.
no. I mean, I just object to that kind of ad hominem. See, I went to Chaminade. That's Latin. I had to take it for 4 years.
Yeah, I think I
it was
know.
like a grapefruit when I got out of that high school. Ad hominem, to the man, attacks.
This is like,
and that's what he does. And I just, Hayes doesn't do that. Maddow doesn't do it.
Right.
They're just very, very far left individuals.
Right.
And I don't object to that. I think my arguments are stronger. I mean, obviously, it's number one for 16 years on cable straight. So people thought that I had a better presentation than they did. But once you get into, well, I hate you because of what you believe, that's
right.
un-American.
Do you think he's worse than the morning guys, than Joe and Mika?
Yeah, because those people, I mean, it's more of a show there. It's more of a
They're clowns.
Calculated.
Yeah.
He's nasty.
Yeah, wow. Venomous.
I mean, that's who he is. Joe and Mika, I mean, if you would say, I'll pay you a couple more million, they'd be right wingers. I mean, they'd be in the John Birch Society. Where do you want me to sign?
They were at one time leading the Trump bandwagon, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, they were pals, right.
Ironic that you go after the one Irish guy with the O apostrophe.
Right.
I think that's a stage name.
Got an Irish Civil War.
Yeah, I don't think he's really Irish.
He's probably Protestant.
Strangers in the Night? Is this Bill's favorite song or something?
No, I don't. Maybe.
You like Sinatra? You like a big?
I like Sinatra, but I'm not, pining over him. I would have rather had a little more upbeat.
Beach Boys. Bill O'Reilly's a Beach Boys guy.
Those are good guys. They do a lot of fine charity work, and I'm a big Beach Boys fan.
What is your favorite song of all time, though? If you had to pick one, Bill O'Reilly.
I can tell you my movie, The Godfather, Godfather 2 are my favorite movies. Favorite song? I like Brooke Benton's Rainy Night in Georgia.
Oh, it's great.
I do.
That is so random.
I know, but if you listen to that song, and I know, McGurk, you're incapable of really 3 minutes listening to music, Brooke Benton's Rainy Night in Georgia.
I figured Sloop John B.
Unbelievable song, orchestrated and words and singing. It puts you there.
See, we had
Georgia.
you wrong. He thought it was going to be Kendrick Lamar.
Yeah. Oh, I was Puff Daddy.
Did you watch the Grammy Awards a couple of weeks?
No. Are you kidding me?
No chance?
No. Oh,
hey, but that's America. That's what you're going to talk about immigration in New York. That's America.
If that's America, I'm moving to the Turks Caicos. I mean, I don't believe that. I've been to all 50 states, and I just don't see little Cameron running around in most municipalities.
Right.
This is contrived BS, and it insults my intelligence.
Yeah, it is.
And I just don't watch them. I'm not going to watch the Oscars. I haven't watched them for years.
Or the Golden Globes or any of that nonsense.
Because it's all contrived. It really is. It offends me. It's not honest anymore.
Right. Self-congratulatory nonsense.
No, we agree.
The dumbing down and hypocrisy, too.
Well, just hate, too. I mean, it should be a night of celebration and not every couple of seconds I hate the president. I mean, I like the movie. Move on.
So Bill O'Reilly's in studio with us right now. And BillO'Reilly.com, 7 o'clock every night, a new show. All the insights, all the great guests that you used to see on Fox News. Bill O'Reilly still has them at BillO'Reilly.com. And but Bill, you were going to tell us New York, how we're affected by immigration. They reached a budget deal apparently, so we're not going to get this immigration reform proposal that Trump had. and you were going to elaborate.
Okay. There's a couple of things. Let's do local first because, we live in New York.
Yeah.
Problematic living in New York. 16 million people in the metropolitan area. I'm a New Yorker, born and raised, but I've lived all over the country and London, England. I lived there for a year. Wow. I know the world. I've been to 84 countries. So right now you have a socialist mayor, okay, de Blasio. All right. Now, de Blasio, I understand, honeymooned in Cuba.
That's right.
Right?
Bolshevik Bill.
Okay.
Yes.
So, and it wasn't when Cuba was opened up. It was when Cuba was lining people up and shooting them.
Right.
And look, that's a nice honeymoon scenario. Let's go to the execution today. All right. And then we'll go back to the room. All right. So de Blasio gets elected and less than 30% of New Yorkers vote. All right. The Democratic machine brings out people. They vote for de Blasio. 70% of the electorate doesn't show up. And he's the mayor. So the damage he's done is visible. You go to Penn Station, and what's right below us here at WABC.
Every day.
All right?
Yes.
It looks like Bombay, India.
It really does.
All right?
It's
okay,
terrible.
So under Giuliani and Bloomberg, you didn't have that. Under de Blasio, you do. Same city, same everything. Okay, so it's visible. Can't get into the city. The trucks are everywhere, double parking. It's just chaos and anarchy. Now you read today in a paper that last year the federal government asked New York City authorities 1,500 times for warrants to hold illegal alien criminals or people who have defied deportation a number of times, right? 1,500 times. Wow. All right, the city didn't honor one of those. Not one.
Just release these criminals back out.
Put them right back out. Now, the city doesn't know what their background is. They can't possibly know. ICE has a computer system. ICE knows who defies deportation. ICE knows the criminals. If they commit a crime in North Dakota, ICE knows. The de Blasio administration does not. So that puts every New Yorker in danger.
At risk, sure.
All right, does it not?
Yes. And particularly in the neighborhoods they live in, which are illegal immigrant communities.
Well, in the Bronx and parts of Brooklyn, you have havens, all right, where illegal aliens can come and go, and they know that nobody's going to bother them. All right, so the justification on the police department, and NYPD is the best in the world, or I think, all right, in controlling crime and controlling crowds and fighting terrorism. Best police force I've ever seen in my life. But here, the commissioner is taking his orders from the mayor's office, all right? And their justification is, well, we're not going to cooperate with the feds because we don't want to scare the illegal alien community so they won't cooperate with the police and report crimes. That's bogus.
Right.
All right? That's a bogus argument. Your obligation, NYPD and Mayor de Blasio,
Jimmy O'Neill,
is to protect everyone who lives in New York City and all the people who come here. That's your main obligation, not to be a sociologist, all right? So they will not obey the law. The New York City will not obey the law. California's like this as well. So what does the federal government do? Nothing. Nothing. All right? Now, what should they do? They should basically say, if you do not honor our retainer, our agents are going to come in to the person that we send the retainer to and arrest them.
Wow.
Okay.
So arrest the actual officials.
Right.
In
the actual city officials.
But we don't do that. That hasn't happened.
But it should.
It should.
Okay, because federal law.
They threat to cut off money, funding.
They can't do that because Congress controls the money flow, not Jeff Sessions, not President Trump.
Right.
Congress controls where the money goes. So you cannot. But you certainly can say, we want this person held. It's federal law that you hold them. If you don't hold them, you yourself are going to be arrested.
And
then Bill de Blasio will bail you out. All right? So the city will have to pay the bail money for poor Maury, who has been ordered to let him out. And Maury's standing there in the federal detention center in Brooklyn going, what the you-know-what?
Right.
All right?
Or I can take it one step further. You go right to the source. You go to Jimmy O'Neill, the police commissioner. You go to Bill de Blasio. Arrest them.
You know, that might be a little bit dramatic, but it's possible. But they would say, well, you didn't give me the warrant, that kind of thing. All right. So that's the local. Now let's get to the bigger picture. Why on earth would an American citizen object to a wall on the southern border? What is the reasoning? Mexico last year had 30,000 murders. Last year.
That's a lot.
Okay? 30,000. That's more than Afghanistan. That's more than Iraq.
Yeah.
More than Syria. Mexico. 30,000 dead people, plus another 20,000 who are missing. They're probably in New York, but they're missing in Mexico. Sure. That's 50,000 Mexican citizens, all right, either dead or vanished. Who's killing them? The drug cartels are killing them. It isn't the folks, all right? It's the organized criminals who run much of the country.
Right.
How do they run the country? Because the local police are sitting there in Guadalajara, and 5 guys come in and go, you know what, Jose? You're going to leave us alone. You're not going to do anything to us, and if you do anything to impede our drug business or our people smuggling business, we're not going to kill you.
Your wife,
we're going to kill your wife and your kids and your mom and your dad because we know where you live.
See, that's what's changed. In the past, they drop off an envelope with money. Now they say, we're going to rape your wife and
kill you.
And scared out of their wits.
Right. So there isn't any local law enforcement in Mexico as far as the cartels are concerned. Same thing on the states. Sinaloa, all of these states, same thing. The governor of the state gets a visit, all right, and said, look, Governor, we know where you live. There's nobody going to protect you, all right, so you just look the other way and we're going to do what we want to do. And that's why they control the country. So everybody knows this, all right? The president knows it. The President Nieto of Mexico knows it. Mexico cannot control what happens inside of Mexico. So the drug cartels are sending tons, thousands of tons of narcotics into America.
Fentanyl, among others.
Just for that, you want a wall.
Right. Mm-hmm. Agreed.
Forget about illegal aliens, all right? Just for that, you want a wall.
Yes.
All right? So what is your objection to keeping out thousands of tons of narcotics that are killing tens of thousands of Americans?
And their answer is simple: it's racist.
Well, here's the problem.
It's a stupid answer.
But President Trump, again, to suck out the Bill O'Reilly, if President Trump could only articulate what you just said, give those numbers, talk about instead he does. He attacks the people. It comes off as racist. You'd admit this, Bill. Look, the one thing about Trump was, when he came on with you, he goes on with Sean, it's one big kiss session. And with you, you would tell him things like this. And I think he would listen. But you'd have to agree that he can't articulate it the way you just did.
He doesn't choose to. I don't know why. All right. So the wall... If you object to the wall, you better give me a reason why you're objecting to it rather than it's racist. That's insane, okay? We have millions of people living in America now who shouldn't be in America. You want to continue that? Some people do. That's the open border crowd.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Just killed the guy this week from the Colts. So the kid from the Colts just got killed.
They want George Soros and his crew.
Right.
They want open borders, anybody comes in. But if you're a sane person, you don't want that. You want to know who's here, all right? So you got narcotics, you got people smuggling, you put the wall. Okay. Then you get the pinheads up in Connecticut. And your wall doesn't work. Your wall doesn't work.
Oh, really?
All right? They need to get on a plane and go to Israel.
Right.
All right? Israel, which was being infiltrated by terrorists, killing Israeli citizens, put up a wall and stopped it cold.
That's right.
Okay?
That's right.
So now we have evidence, hard facts, that the wall in Israel worked to protect their people from death. So you're going to say in Connecticut, it doesn't work. And everybody deserves it. Okay, fine. So you get, once you put it that way, that stark way.
Sure.
What's the objection to the wall?
Well, listen, I would go back to that Harvard-Harris poll that the majority of people agree with that sentiment, believe it or not. I think that message is getting through because over 50% agree, according to this Harvard, and this is Harvard, a Harvard-Harris poll. So Americans are starting to resonate with them. And again, the Indianapolis linebacker who was killed.
Jackson.
Indianapolis
And Kate Steinle is
Kate Steinle.
And the MS-13 parents.
And by the way, we've played audio on this show, Bill, over the last couple of weeks where both Chuck Schumer and Hillary Clinton.
All of them. Bill Clinton, Obama, all of them had the same opinion 10 years ago.
They were all for it.
Yeah.
They were all for it.
Well, if you just break it down into, look, this is the logical thing to do. Take the emotion and the demagoguery out of it. You'll win.
Absolutely.
But these pinheads on the right, on the left, they can't do that. They have to play to their perceived constituency. And who gets screwed? The country.
Okay, you're right. Those you can't change those people's minds. But again, I have to ask you: does any of that responsibility fall on President Trump?
It does. It does in the sense that he could be a much more effective communicator.
Right.
All right. So he's on the right track on some things, not everything, but on some things he's on the right track. But he doesn't message well. He just doesn't do it. So maybe you should hire me.
Right.
I'll go down and say,
Right.
okay, look,
Listen,
this is the deal.
I like it.
Or the government should subsidize BillO'Reilly.com.
You laid it
Take
out-
it over.
you laid it out
and
beautifully.
put it in Voice of America.
Perfect.
Right. And we'll solve these problems once and for all.
I love it.
so listen, you're not heading down to Philadelphia for the big celebration. Did you watch the Super Bowl?
I did watch the Super Bowl.
Yeah, it was a
I
good
think
game, right?
Tom Brady is the best of all time.
No doubt. Agreed.
And I thought that Nick Foles was unbelievably brilliant. I want the people in Philly to have a really good time. Try not to set yourself on fire
Right.
down
Well,
there.
they already have.
It's
They're in a
not
mess.
good. I know.
Hey, what'd you think? You mentioned the fact you interviewed Obama
Yeah.
during the Super Bowl a couple years ago. It's
Yeah.
great, by the way. What'd you think about Trump's decision not to do the interview with NBC?
He's
this
smart.
year? Smart. Okay.
Yeah, why reward people who want to kill you? I
Yes.
mean, not literally,
Who
but
hate you,
figuratively.
who hate your
who
guts.
want you out of office. Why
Right. Yeah.
reward them?
Right.
So,
Exactly.
I wouldn't.
The
do
hell
that.
with them. The
Right.
hell with them. Hey,
Right.
Bill O'Reilly, thank you.
Okay, guys.
This is great. Bill O'Reilly.
Enjoyed it.
BillO'Reilly.com.
The best.
Every night, 7 o'clock. And we're honored to have him in studio on the Bernie and Sid Show. Thank you again, Bill.
Okay.
You bring your phone everywhere. Work, school, the movies. Now you can bring it to an Xfinity store for an easy way to switch to Xfinity Mobile, a new kind of network designed to save you money. You can get up to 5 lines of talk and text included with Xfinity Internet at no extra cost, so all you pay for is data. It's never been easier to switch to Xfinity Mobile and keep the phone you love. Click here to see how. Sorry, I gotta take this. Restrictions apply. Limited to select mobile phones. Requires activation of a new line of Xfinity Mobile. Up to 5 devices per account. New Xfinity Internet customers limited to up to 2 lines pending activation of Internet service.